Oh, hey. You know how you get ready to make a book haul video and you think, I really hope I got enough books in May to make this video. Oh boy. Okay. What's up, beasties? Welcome back to the channel. It's Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so excited to see you. We've got a book haul for May today, my very first book haul, and it's insanity. I'm actually disgusting that I have this many books between thrifting, bookstores, Pango, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and any department store I go into that has books. Target, Meijer, Walmart. I just cannot help myself. I just love books. And as any booktuber or reader will tell you, there's two different hobbies. There's reading books and there's collecting books. And I unfortunately love both. But the good news is, for me, I'm going to try to scale it back. And subscription boxes. That's a problem for me too. But I'm going to try to scale it back because being off this summer as a teacher, for right now, I do some part-time work in the summer, doing some other things, but I have been taking my kids to the library, rediscovered my love of the library, going there, finding things, ordering things to come in, and you still get that excitement when it comes in and you can go pick it up and look through it and read it. And that's a better way to check something out and decide, oh, I love this. I do want to have a copy of it instead of, ooh, pretty. I want that. Ooh, that sounds cool. I want that. And then it just sits on my shelf. So, um, but these book hauls are still fun. So sit back, relax, grab a drink. I've got some coffee here. And enjoy this crazy book haul. All right, so first thing is not a book, but I did want to show it. I put my subscription to this book box subscription on hold, but Caffeine and Legends is really fun. I really like it. I do kind of want to get it back because the book they have this in June is one that I want to get anyway to add onto my TBR for later in the summer. But it's called Caffeine and Legends. You get a box with a book. It's signed by the author. A lot of times it's a debut author, but they have a note talking about why they wrote the book, some little goodies in there, and then you also get coffee or drinking chocolate or tea. You get to choose what you want, and then they have one that kind of goes with the theme of the box and the book. A lot of fun. I put it on hold because I'm trying to cut back on some of my subscription ones, so the ones that I can put on hold, I have been, but still. It's awesome. So I will probably get it back at some point for sure. Maybe this summer for this next book coming out. But anyway, they have these very cool Death by TBR mugs that they made. And mine just came in. I wanted to get it when they first came out, but they sold out. And they recently had some left, and they discounted them. So I got it at a really good price. But it's right here, Death by TBR. Unfortunately, it has the smaller, so I can only put one finger in. But it's still good. It's very sturdy, very cool. I like it a lot. So now to the books. So this first grouping is going to be all books that have been on my TBR wrap-ups so far. So they're not new books to you, but I did get them in the month of May, so I just wanted to show you them. So, of course, I got Open Throat by Henry Hope. This little novella. And then Last Stand of the Stone Fist by I always say Michael R. Miller. Really enjoyed this one. Can't wait to get into Songs of Chaos and Dragon Blade and get those gorgeous hardcovers and that omnibus for Dragon Blade. I just said I was going to do better, but I can't help it. I got to get them. I'm excited to get into that world because this was really good. And then I'll do this next. Builders by Daniel Polanski. Really loved it. If you watch my May wrap-up, you know this was my novella of the month, my favorite one I read. Daniel Polanski is becoming a favorite author of mine. I also got his newest book, full length book, Tomorrow's Children. That was really good. Look for a review on that coming out soon. Then on Facebook Market, someone in my town nearby was selling the first two volumes of Death Note, so I picked those up, and the first 6 of Attack on Titan. The first 3 come in these Five Below. I haven't been there in a long time. Five Below. I should check them out for their books and graphic novels and manga. Ooh, I know what I'm doing this week. Gosh, I have a problem. But the first 3 are in these editions, and then this omnibus has 3 through 6 in it. So that was a fun find. I love finding things on Facebook Market where I can just quick go pick them up, and then you can get things so cheap sometimes. I love thrifting, and Facebook hunting for books is so fun. But then I also pre-ordered and got when it came out, Darkwing Duck. Talked about that in my wrap up. Awesome. Excited for the next one to come out. Here we go. Dreadful by Caitlin Rozakis. It's on my June TBR. I'm going to read it not this week, but the next week. This week, I'm reading How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying by Django Wexler. Just last week, finished up The Last Fee Hunter by Selena Goldenberg. Awesome book. Look for a review for that coming out soon. I'm Wayne Among the Crows by Veronica Roth, who wrote Divergent Series about a monster hunter. I'm going to be reading that this week. Six Gun Omnibus 1 with the first 17 issues plus the 5-issue miniseries. Working my way through that. I got that in May. Got Doombreaker in May. Going to be reading that this month. Silver Blood Promise. Read that first week of June. Really enjoyed it. Look for a review for that. Got that in May. I really wanted the Broken Binding edition of this, but I missed the boat and forgot about the sale and sold out. And then they had a restock, and I didn't see the message in time. Missed out on that too. So I hope I can find it for not too bad of a price someday, because I really want that, because I love this book. Would love a signed that signed gorgeous special edition. Got Heavenbreaker in May, just from department store. You can get that gorgeous book anywhere. Got this beautiful naked hardcover, Queen of Mid Ashes, in May. And then now, those are things that are on my TBR. I don't think I have anything else for my TBR, maybe, but this next section of books is going to be all from subscription services I'm part of. So I'm part of the Broken Binding. So the book that came in May was book 2 of Liza Lockman Lamora, Red Seas Under Red Skies by Scott Lynch. I love these covers. I was actually collecting them in paperback. And then when I heard this was coming out, I was pumped, because I love when they use one of those covers, especially ones that I love, for the jacket. But then, of course, the naked hardcover is gorgeous, just like Liza Lockman Lamora, the first book, was. Really cool in-paper artwork. Sprayed edges are awesome. Signed by Scott Lynch. Actually, no, I am a level 2, so I'm not level 1, so my books don't come signed. But someday, hopefully, I get that email that says I'm a level 1, so I get little extra trinkets plus signed books. But still, these are gorgeous books. I love them. And I haven't read this series yet, which is something I need to remedy soon. But since the series isn't finished, and I do want to get through like Stormlight and some other trilogies that have books coming up, that one's kind of on the back burner, but I am going to read it soon, because I know I'll love it, and I can't wait to get into it. I think Scott Lynch will finish it eventually. He's talked about things he's working on and stuff. So I'm going to read it either way, because it sounds awesome. Then I had to pick up Never Die, this Broken Binding special edition by Rob J. Hayes. It's got beautiful sprayed edges, this awesome jacket, and then the in paper is pretty cool. It's the cover of the regular cover of there it is, Never Die. I didn't have any books signed by Rob J. Hayes, so now I do, so that's awesome. It's got really cool gold foil, naked hardcover. I'm excited. Haven't I read most of Never Die? I have to finish it up, but I'm gonna read it the rest of it on this with this beautiful edition because I was just reading it on my Kindle. And I'm also part of his Kickstarter for his God Eater Saga. Those should be coming soon. As soon as those come in, I'll figure out when to get them on the TBR. I started reading it a little bit in my on my Kindle and read some of the short stories that you got for being a Kickstarter supporter, and it's really cool. Magic System is basically eating angels and getting powers from that, and it just sounds like a really cool story. And he's releasing 3 books at a time. Each one is the first book of a trilogy, set hundreds of years apart in the same world, and then he'll release the book two, each book three. So really cool. I'll talk a lot more about it once I'm getting it on my TBR and reading it. Next up, I am a member of GSFF, Goldsboro Science Fiction and Fantasy. And I got 2 books this month because the April book was delayed. And this is one that I do want to read very soon, get it on the TBR this summer. It's called Dragon Rider by Taran Matharu. But this is a really cool, it came with a slipcase. It's got a dragon egg, gold foil on there. And then the book has dragon scales. It's really cool. Cool in papers, signed by the author. It's got a nice map in there. There it is. No sprayed edges, which is kind of a bummer because they usually do, but I still love this edition. The broken binding had a really cool one that I really wanted to get, but I knew I was getting this as part of my subscription, so I didn't. But I'm gonna read that. It sounds really good, and if I like it, I'll probably get the broken binding one. So I have both of them, and even the regular cover I really liked for the regular book, which I was gonna buy before I found out about broken binding in this. So if I love it, I don't mind having more than one edition of it. And then, of course, I talked about this in a wrap-up, but this was the May GSFF book, and I've talked about it already, 5 Broken Blades, beautiful book. The one you can get in the stores looks a lot like this, but it's red and black, and this is blues. Yeah, I like that one. And then Broken Binding had this. Okay, so this is John at Talking Stories' fault, so he's so good at pitching books. But I've always wanted to read Cloud Atlas, but when he described it, I just had to do it. But they had this beautiful 20th anniversary edition at Barnes & Noble, and I had it in my cart and kept being like, oh, I shouldn't get it, I shouldn't. And then all of a sudden it was gone, sold out. So I was really bummed out, but then I found an edition of it at Waterstones, and it is just gorgeous, like these pinks and these blues, beautiful sprayed edges. Gorgeous naked hardcover with this shiny foil blue. Cool in papers. So yeah, I've always wanted to read this. Never read anything by David Mitchell. It also has, I just realized it has a little the ribbon, bookmark ribbon, which is cool. I always like when they have those. And it is signed by the author with pen. That's awesome. So yeah, I'm really excited to check this one out. I have the audio of the Bone Clocks, but I have never listened to it. I have an audiobook of that. But anyway, continuing on. So of course, when I was on the Waterstones, I'm gonna grab this little stack real quick before it makes everything fall over. Okay. So when I was on Waterstones, I was looking around just because I had never really looked on their website, and I found this cool edition of this book I had been wanting to get, but I didn't really like the American cover. I liked the other cover better, and it's called Butter. And this cover is just cool in the back. It looks really awesome, and it's got it's a paperback with the like dust jacket type flaps, and yeah, this is one I definitely want to read soon. It's about a chef who ends up using the food she makes and being a chef to like become a serial killer and kill people, and it's about a journalist that's interviewing her, and through their conversations and the telling of her story and the flashbacks, the journalist kind of, it sounds like maybe discovers they might be a little crazy and want to kill people too or something. I don't know, but it sounds really good. So yeah, I can't wait to check that one out. And then I am also a part of Inkstone, which Inkstone, you get a book every quarter, so you just get one every 3 months. And the last one that I got was Dance of Shadows by Ragba Payne. This is a really cool looking book. Love that orange, blue sprayed edges. This is has a really cool naked hardcover. No end papers, which is interesting. And it is signed by the author, which is cool. This one I definitely want to check out. It sounds really cool. I think it has shadow magic, maybe. Let me look at it real quick. All right, it says Rumi and his family are Odu, stricken with poverty and disparaged by the other tribes. When ruthless agents of Palmain threaten to destroy the village market, Rumi takes upon himself to liberate his family, taking a place in the prestigious Golden Room, where earnings from his music offer a chance at freedom. On what should be his greatest night at the Golden Room, his life is turned upside down. A terrifying stranger known as the Priest of Vultures attacks Rumi and his family. In a moment of terror, Rumi's mother solicits the help of a dying god and saves Rumi, setting him on the path to become a shadow wielder. Warriors with the ability to use their shadow as a weapon. That sounds really good. I'm really excited to read that one. And if you saw my May wrap up, I loved Andrew Watson's Harbinger of Justice with Shadow Magic. So hopefully that one is just as good. I'm also a member of Book of the Month. So the May book that I got was Ministry of Time, a time travel story. The back says a boy meets a girl, the past meets the future, a finger meets a trigger, the beginning meets the end. But yes, the basic premise, I'll talk about this more down the road when I read it, but is that through this group doing time travel and messing with it, they end up bringing a soldier from 1800s to present day, and he is obviously overwhelmed and a little curmudgeon and grumpy, and becomes like a chain smoker. And but I think there's a little romance between him and a character from the Ministry of Time. But it sounds really good. Excited to check it out. And the edition in the stores has the same cool looking cover with font, but it's like raised, and that's the thing. Like, I love Book of the Month because they're cheap, and I always like to check out new books or new authors through there. But and they're nice hardcovers, but the hardcovers in the stores are better. But I still enjoy it, and I've gotten some really cool books through there. In June, though, I had to skip. I was bummed out. There was no fantasy option. Usually there's at least one, fantasy or sci-fi, and there wasn't. And the ones that I could use my credit on, there wasn't really anything. There was some that I would have to pay for, but I didn't. I wanted to use my credit, so I pushed it forward. So now next month in July, I'll be able to get an extra book plus one of the monthly selections, which hopefully has a fantasy or sci-fi option. So continuing on, I have one more special edition, but I'll talk about why I got it first. So for my dabbler, in May I read Trader's Blade and really enjoyed that. I've been wanting to get in Greatcoats for a long time, and when I saw Sebastian de Castell came out with a new book in that world, 2 new books actually, I wanted to get through the series over the next few months so that I can read those. So of course I had the first 4 books of the Greatcoats, but then I had to get the short story collection, Tales of the Greatcoats, which broadens the world and fills in the gaps, and then the Prelude novel, the new 2 novels. This is the first one, Crucible of Chaos, and then of course the Broken Binding. I got the Play of Shadows special edition, signed by Sebastian de Castell. Beautiful sprayed edges, awesome gold foil cover, great in papers, signed. So I'm really looking forward to reading that and diving into that world, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So that was pretty much all special editions and stuff that was from my TBR. Now we'll get into random buys at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, stores, and then we'll get into Pango Books and Thrift Hall. All right. Quick side note. You may wonder why my shirts are changing. So here's what happened. So in the intro, I had this awesome Xavier Institute 1963 shirt on, and I recorded this book haul for May the other day. And what happened was I had messed with my mic and didn't realize that I had turned the gain way off, and you could barely hear me at all. So I'm like, I tried to enhance it and bring it out, and it didn't work. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to re-record that May book haul. So I kept the intro, and then I did my weekly wrap up with my Batman shirt on, and then I went into this and forgot to change the shirt. So don't mind the changing of shirts. I guess I could have just kept the Batman shirt on and told you, but this shirt's cool. I wanted to show it off. So anyway, that's why my shirt's changed, because I had to re-record this book haul. And anyway, back to it. So those were special editions, things for my TBR that you've already seen through my wrap-ups and TBR. So now these are all books that I just got. So here we go. So these are books that I got at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, in department stores, brand new. So when I got Queen of Mid-Ashes, of course I had to get the other one, Dregs of the Empire, beautiful naked hardcover again. This one is much later in the series, so I won't get to that one for a while, but I was excited to get it. Then when I was at Meijer, which is, if you live in the Midwest, you've heard of Meijer. If you haven't, it's just like Walmart or Target, something like that. But this book is called Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. It's a thriller. It has a very cool texture. It looks like a VHS tape, kind of feels like one. And then when you take it off, it's got a really pretty naked hardcover. Last time I was in Barnes & Noble, though, I saw that they have an edition that has a slipcase that looks like a VHS box, and then the book looks like a VHS tape that goes in. So, like, if I really like this book, when I read it, which I probably will, I might get that edition and sell this one on Pango, so keep an eye on for that. But, yeah, it sounds really cool. It's about some siblings that their parents die, and they come back to the house. They're young adults, and they're kind of going through things, organizing stuff, and they find this VHS tape. They put it in, and it's their mom and dad covered in blood, talking about getting rid of a dead body, and they're like, what the heck? And it kind of kicks off from there. So I'm excited to check that one out. Probably save it for the fall, closer to Halloween, spooky season. And then another one I'll probably read then too, if I can wait. But in May, I was at Barnes & Noble, and I saw Someone You Can Build a Nest In by John Wiswell. Cool artwork on the front. Very cool. I love these short little hardcovers. Side note, I thought this was a purposefully thing done for just to make cute little hardcovers. But when I was at Comic-Con in Grand Rapids near my town back in the fall, like late October, November, S.A. Barnes was there, who wrote Dead Silence. I got to get her new book too. But she was there. She was super nice. Talked to her for a little bit. She signed her book for me. And she said, let me know that was something done during COVID to save cost on paper and printing. So they were making the hardcovers smaller because I loved the size of her hardcovers. And she's like, well, that was because of COVID and the price of everything. And so I thought that was interesting. I didn't know that. So anyway, love this book. It sounds really good. It's about a changeling shapeshifter that lives in this moat swamp by this old manor. And these monster hunters are out searching for monsters and for this changeling. And there's a battle that goes on, and she gets injured. And then she looks like a human when she gets found. And then this human finds her and nurses her back to health. And she grows fond of them. They grow fond of each other. But then she finds out that they are the hunter, one of the hunters that tried to kill her. So, yeah, and it goes from there. It sounds really cool. Love a little cozy rom-com horror fantasy book. And it looks like it's YA, but it's actually adult. So I am excited to check that one out. Then this was one I got on Amazon. I was just kind of you buy something and then it says you might also like, or buyers, those who bought that also bought this. And this just sounded too cool to not grab. And I love the cover. It's called Dead End Job by Justin Alcala. Um, Death needs a vacation badly. There's a catch. There's people who cheat the system, always falling through the cracks and not dying like they're supposed to. Who's going to take care of them while Death's sipping on sangria? The answer is simple. Death needs an intern. And it doesn't take a rocket science to realize that one prospect, Buck Palinski, Palacinxia, a bankrupt hitman with a role-playing addiction, might have what it takes. When he's scoping out his next target, Buck gets drilled in the forehead by a bullet and falls right into Death's lap. If they shove him back into the body, he'll have a few weeks to prove he has what it takes to be Death's right hand. So this is a series and just sounds really cool. So I'm definitely gonna be checking that one out soon, sooner than later. Definitely do for a self pub one down the road. Looks really good. Let's see. I was just thinking, since I mentioned self pub, I probably should. Okay, we're gonna move this for a second. Another indie author that when I saw this cover, I had to get it, pre-order it, but it came in May, and that is Soul Cage by L.R. Schultz. Sounds really awesome. Sounds a little grim dark, and that cover just looks awesome. Um, I think the magic system, it's transferred by the act of killing another person, which sounds pretty cool. So I'm really excited to get in this one. I'll talk about it a lot more when I figure out when to get it on to my TBR. But yeah, it looks awesome. Can't wait to read that one. Had to have that cover. And I think L.R. Schultz was the one that wrote King's Radiance. I didn't read that one, but I always wanted to check out that one. Um, this one, a lot of booktubers have been talking about Janie Wirtz. I've always wanted to check her out, so I did find this gorgeous near mint condition, almost perfect condition paperback of To Ride's Hell's Chasm. Found it on shoot, what is it called? I always forget what that. Sometimes if I want to buy stuff like with the UK cover, they have free shipping. Oh my gosh, it starts with the B. I just keep thinking book, but it's like, dang it. I'll figure editing beast will figure it out and put it on here. Just say, Blackwell's, yes. I don't have to edit that and put it in. Blackwell's. Found it on there at a really good price, and it is signed by the author, which is awesome. I love these covers and right there. That she is just such a great artist, and I can't wait to see what I think of her writing. But I really want to find those hardcovers of the old hardcovers of the Curse of the Mist Wraith series and get into that down the road too. They're really hard to find though. I haven't been able to find any that aren't outrageously priced or in great shape. So maybe I'll just get the paperbacks eventually of those, but the hardcovers would be cool to find. This is gorgeous. I'm excited to read this very soon. All right, and then I had to order this. Um, Larry Correa, Son of the Black Sword, Mike from Mike's Books Reviews, talked about this and really enjoyed it. And I have some Monster Hunter books from Larry Correa and his Grimworld Chronicles, Hard Magic. I have a book from that. Always wanted to check him out. So when I found out he had this fantasy series too, I'm like, I gotta get that. Looks very good, and it has cool map and papers, and it does have. Oh no, it doesn't. Thought it had something on the front, but I really like this cover, very glossy and smooth. But yeah, I'm excited to check that out. And then let's see if I had anything else from Amazon. Oh yeah, this one is. I think the rest of these after this are from Barnes and Noble. Okay, so last one I pre-ordered from Amazon is Necrotech from Jonathan Mayberry, new series for him. This sounds really cool, very dark. These um, ships and machines are piloted and run by the souls of soldiers that died in battle and stuff, and it just sounds really cool. I've read. Working. I have the first three Joe Ledger books. I'm going to plan on reading those in the next year. Um, I've been dabbling with the first one, and I like it so far. So I'm excited. I have the Cake and the Dam books. I definitely want to read those too. And now I have this one, so I might start with this since it's just a one book, and then I can be caught up at least on one of his series, and then work my way back. But excited to get into more Jonathan Mayberry. I like his writing so far, and excited for this one. All right, then some Barnes and Noble books. So a lot of these came from getting some of the books that I already talked about, like how to become the Dark Lord, and Die Trying, The Last Spy Hunter, Dreadful, and also in May it came out. I pre-ordered Evocation by S.T. Gibson. I recently got Diary of Blood at a good thrift find for $1, so that was pretty cool. But anyway, this is a beautiful, just regular hardcover, but it's got really cool end papers. Beautiful naked hardcover. But this is about a medium psychic who had made a deal with the devil, and they comes collecting, and just about him trying to get out of trouble for that. And it just sounded and looked really cool. So definitely want to check that one out soon. So then, um, between all those books I pre-ordered and went in the store to get, of course, then I look around, I find things. Then I got I'm Afraid You've Got Dragons by Peter S. Beagle. Excited to read this one. I always wanted to read Last Unicorn, never did. So I'm excited to check this one out. But this is a really pretty, it's got really cool end papers. But the story just sounds so cool and fun. It's about Gaius Aurelius Constantine Heliogabalus Thrax, who'd much rather be called Robert. He's inherited his deceased father's job as a dragon exterminator. He hates that with all his heart. He actually likes dragons, and he does not want to be a dragon hunter or dragon exterminator. Um, so things get even worse when he's hired by the royal family to disinfest their entire castle of dragons. So it just sounds really good. I can't wait to check this one out really soon. Looks like a short read. And then if I like it, then I will be able to check out. I love this cover, by the way. Then I'll be able to check out Last Unicorn. In perusing around, I had been interested in this book, but then I saw this edition with these sprayed edges, and really just wanted to check it out. A map in there. The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton, and I haven't read any of his books. I've heard 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle is good, but this one sounds really cool. Definitely it seems like a good summer read. Going to get it in at some point this summer. But this is about this. There was a cloud of gas that came in the world and like killed all these people. So they built this city on this island, and it's enclosed and protected from the gas outside. And that's what this end paper is. It shows kind of a map of what the city is like. And anyway, someone gets murdered, and the people in charge of the city decide to open up the barriers, the walls, or the dome, or whatever is protecting them. And the gases are slowly coming, and they have so many hours before it comes and kills everyone. And they say, we're not going to close it unless the murderer comes forward or someone solves the case. So if they don't find out who killed this person, everybody's going to die. So it just sounds out there and crazy and like a lot of fun. So I love that peach kind of colored, mango colored thing with the yellow naked hardcover. It looks really good together, and this cover is gorgeous. So books are so pretty nowadays. Excited to check that one out. And then for my novellas I read every month, I'm always on the lookout for cool novellas, and I've always wanted to check out the series Before the Coffee Gets Cold. It has to do with time travel from this coffee shop, and this is supposed to be good, so really excited to check that out. And then I got a new book that came out called The God and the Gummyho. Cool artwork on there. But this one sounds really fun. It focuses on Kim Hani. She's retired from a life of devouring souls. She was the infamous Scarlet Fox, but now she's retired and just works in the coffee shop, and she enjoys bickering every day with a irritating but unfairly handsome trickster god who is Siaga. He was exiled from this heavenly kingdom, and he's just kind of been a curmudgeon living in the mortal world, trying to find his way, figure out what to do, wishing he could go back to the kingdom. And he goes to the coffee shop and bickers with this barista who he actually thinks is very charming. Um, so a powerful demon escapes the underworld, and the emperor of that kingdom, Siaga, was kicked out of. Gives him a shot. He says, if you track down this demon and kill it, and if you kill the infamous Scarlet Fox, who we've been trying to get forever, you can have your place back in the kingdom. So he tells Kim, who is secretly the Scarlet Fox, about this. Um, and it's probably Kim, not Kim, but she agrees to help him, but really because she wants to throw him off the track that she's the Scarlet Fox. So she wants to help him find the other demon, but she's also going to be like basically destroying his quest to find her because she doesn't want to get killed. So it just sounds awesome. I can't wait to read it. It sounds like a fun fantasy rom-com mix, which I love that kind of stuff. So that one will be being read soon. And then Barnes & Noble always has their monthly picks or their buy one, get one half off paperbacks. And that's where some of these came in. I got Murder Your Employer by Rupert Holmes, McMaster's Guide to Homicide. It's like a secret school that teaches you how to kill someone in your life that's bothering you, like a boss or something. I don't know a ton about it, but I thought it sounded really interesting and wanted to check it out for my library, but then I saw it was their monthly pick and a buy one, get one half off, so I definitely got that one. And then I got Can't Spell Treason Without T, this really beautiful sprayed edge paperback copy. This is a lot like Legends and Latte, a very cozy fantasy romance. Tomes and Tea, book one. I think it's about I can't remember, is it let's see, powerful mage, Chianthe and Reyna, Queen's private guards. They their lives are crazy and they just want to go and settle down and start a tea shop. So it's about them trying to get away from their crazy, hectic lives and all the violence and just settle down. But of course, people don't like that and they're going to come after them. So, and they have a romance. It sounds really great. Can't wait to check that one out. And then because it's buy one, get one half off, I like to look through and find books I've never heard of. So this is called On Earth as It Is on Television by Emily Jane. Says spaceships visit Earth, but they only stick around for a couple days before moving on. Will they return to destroy us, or was our B-list Earth not good enough for them to conquer? The new certainty of alien life fuels old or uncertainties as to humanity's place in the cosmos. So then it just focuses on different people and how they're dealing with that. And it sounded really interesting, so I'll check that out eventually. Alright, so now into my Pango finds. So first one I found was Bob the Wizard by M.V. Prindle, self-pub book I've always wanted to read. But what was cool, what I scooped this one up was for, because it's a gorgeous naked hardcover, but a lot of drama around this one. This was his original cover, which I thought was really cool and wanted to buy, but then it got found out that it was all AI created. So he hired an artist to make the new cover, or maybe did it himself, I'm not sure, but which is still cool, and I would like that cover also, but I got this for a really good deal. It's in great shape, and it's just cool to have this copy that you can't really find anymore anywhere new. And yeah, I'm excited to read this one down the road for my indie book of the month. And then I love Sherlock Holmes, and when I found out about this series, I was perusing through Pango, and I saw it, I'm like, what? That's a thing? And it's called Warlock Holmes. Set in that world, Sherlock Holmes is like undead in this, and a lot of the other characters, there's a supernatural twist to everything. So I'm excited to check that one out. It's by G.S. Denning. Yeah, I can't wait. Sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Alright, and then, so this is a mix of thrift and Pango, but when I was thrifting in May, I found the first book of Bernard Cornwell's Arthur trilogy called Winter King, and I've seen the cover with like the snowflake or whatever on it, and I really like this cover. It looks really cool. So then I was just looking on Pango, and I saw someone was selling book 2 and 3 with the same covers. So I scooped those up, and now um, let me put them in the right order here. Now they look so great together. The spines on my shelf. So I got these 3 books, for like $7 or $8. Like awesome, can't beat that. All right, now the rest of these are all thrift finds I had in May. So um, I was at my library and they have a little book sale section, and I found this autographed copy, really nice hardcover of Stripped by Brian Freeman. It's a thriller mystery series, and I never heard of it. But when you can get a autographed book for 50 cents at your library, you don't argue. So I got that, and then they had the first 4 books, so I got the other 3, so that I have the first 4 books in the series. Obviously, these are smaller than the signed one, but that's all right. For $2, what do you do? And then my favorite thrift store to go to, they have an indoor area where they have clothes and knickknacks, and then books, and then they have an outdoor area with furniture and bikes and all that. But in the outdoor area, they have a section of books for 25 cents each. I love to look through there and see if I can find any steals. And I found Hyperion by Dan Simmons. It's in great shape, mass paperback. Got it for 25 cents. And I love the strike on this cover. It's so cool. I would love to get a hardcover or paperback of this originally, but I'm just going to kind of try to find these out in the wild, the mass paperbacks, and definitely want to read Hyperion down the road. Once I get caught up on some of these series that I've missed in the last few years, I'm really going to start trying to incorporate classic stuff into that I never read into my TBR. But I got a lot of work to do first. So another cool find when I've been thrifting was I found the entire trilogy of the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin, and I found them all at different times at different thrift stores. I always wanted to read it. I've heard mixed things, obviously, with the second person point of view, but I'm excited to check them out. Never read N.K. Jemisin, and I do want to check the series out, but I actually found the second book first, and I almost didn't get it because I thought, I don't have the first one, but then it's like, for $1 or whatever. And then another time I found the third one, and then finally, near the end of the month, I found the first one, so I'm glad I had grabbed that second one, because now I have the whole trilogy. Then I found an advanced reader's edition of City of Dreams by Don Winslow, his City on Fire series. I haven't read Don Winslow, but I have a lot of his books. I have his Border trilogy, and I actually found, eventually I'm going to do a top 10 thrift finds of all time, and I have a signed copy of the Border. I think it's the one that's just called The Border. Is it over there? Yeah. Really nice hardcover sign by him. So yeah, this is in really great shape, and I love this blue, and excited to check out that eventually. And then my final 2 I got at the thrift store. I love finding signed books there. And these 2 are kind of like special edition-ish, but the jackets were missing, so I just have the naked hardcovers. But this one says, Let Them Fear Her. It's a Wicked Saints by Emily Duncan. It has the spackled edges, which I love. I know a lot of people don't, but I love that. It has a map. I think these were, Owl Crate. So yeah, I wish they had the dust jackets, but maybe they didn't have dust jackets. But they're both signed. The next book says, King of Moths, King of Blood, King of Horns. Ruthless Gods. Speckled edges again, cool edge end papers, and then signed, if I can, there it is. So definitely want to check those out eventually. Don't know anything about the books or the author, but definitely want to figure that out. We did it. Got through all those books. I mean, I think there's more than 50 books here, and there probably was some that because when I go thrifting, I have areas, like I have my unhaul section with some boxes that I can sell off to pay on my Pango. I have an area where I'm going to donate or drop off at little libraries, and then in my desk here, I've got a couple of cabinets. I put thrifting books in there until I have time to go through them. So I probably have some in there that I forgot about, but if I find any, I'll put them in the next one. So I hope you enjoyed it. I have a lot of fun. I love book shopping. It makes me so happy, especially hunting and book hunting at thrift stores and used bookstores and stuff like that, and finding great deals. Facebook Market, Pango. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm excited to have all these books, but I also need to start getting rid of some. So you'll probably be seeing an unhaul video coming soon. But thank you so much. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. Comment below. Tell me about any awesome thrift finds you found, any books that you bought at the store, how your book haul for May went, how things are going for you, or just say hello. I'd love to talk to you. So until I see you in the next video, have an awesome day. Be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly. See ya.